rain prediction project artificial neural network. So firstly, I will input the data and output what is NN I have discussed and what is CNN convolutional neural network. And this is the roadmap. Like firstly, we have import the library, load the data visualization, cleaning, processing, and the model building. So firstly, I have mentioned all the necessary library basically are required here. Then I have loaded the data. The data is there. Once I have loaded the data, then to check out some descriptive analysis, like the basic information of the data and the number of column and to show into the count plot. Once we have shown the data into the count plot, now I will fetch out only those column basically are floats. Then to perform all the analysis basically the float columns and like the head is there, and after that I have applied the data correlations and show into the heat map chart. Once I have show data into the heat map chart, now I point out the date and the year basically into the cos theta and the cos day cos and the day sign. So once I have shown this data into the plot basically, now I want to basically show this data, the scattered plot, the cyclic encoding to the day, and also the value, the categorical value, the missing values I have managed this, and the missing null values I have managed this, and all the value basically I have filled with the help of median, and to show the data according to the year wise into the rainfall, and show the data like into the chart with the help of plot, and to encode the data and to fit the data like the label encoding. Once I apply the label encoding, so it will automatically transform the data and fit into this one, and you can see the all the data converted into this one. Once the data is converted, so I have dropped those column basically is not required, and after that I have used the standardized scaling factor. It will remove the mean basically, the average, and to also to fit the data, you can say that scaling the value, like there is a different scaling. And once I have scaling this standard scaling factor, so I will find out the outlier. So if there is an outlier into the data and the data is not the label is not properly, then I again find out this data and describe the like minimum and the maximum value. And to find out this minimum maximum, you can set out your outlier. So I have set out all the outlier values there. Now I have set out all the outlier this one. So you can see the data into the plot wise, very effective chart. Show the data into the perfect manner, very effective. Now after that I have built the machine like deep learning model, neural network. So firstly I have dropped the particular column and to split the data and to apply the early stopping in slicing the sequential process all by all, and it is the process like 32, 32, 16, 8, and 28. So this is the like the layer which I have applied, one, two, three, four layer basically I have applied, and two dropout things I have applied here. And after that, I will compile this process with the help of like Adam and the cross entropy. And after that, to applying the history model, now you can see and to visualize the losses of the data. So losses of the data is there, and the accuracy is also there. And after that, at the last, like what is the predictions is there. So into the confusion matrix and like the precision and the support like 93%, 99%. And we have the pictures like in this format, and the machine basically want to take a small segment. So similar in the artificial system, how the particular brain will work. So now this time TensorFlow and the scikit-learn is very useful and very demanding. So today I want to discuss one of the most important projects based on the deep learning and the artificial neural network. And in this project, I want to predict the rain prediction basically. So I have ready the one picture like how we can input the values and to output them. Now, firstly, I want to describe like what is ANN. So if I'm talking about the ANN, so ANN that is a artificial neural network are one of the main tool used in machine learning, as neural part of their name suggests. So they have there are brain inspired the system. So we are basically inspired from the brain. And similarly, like we want to compare like what is the difference between artificial neural network and convolutional neural network. So if I'm talking about the artificial neural network is a basic of neural network where neurons are arranged into layers and including layer 1 and more hidden layers. So that is so many layers are there, and like one hidden layer inside the second hidden layer, so many layers are there. And like ANN is suitable wide range of the tasks in like regression, classification, pattern recognition. So to identify like a useful in regression and the classifications or the pattern recognitions, these things. And but the convolutional neural network CNN is a specialized type of neural network designed specifically for processing the grid like data such as images. So the CNN is mostly useful to classify the images because I want to predict the rain. So I will discuss one by one, like what is firstly I will import the library, loading the data visualization and cleaning, data pre-processing and build the model building, conclusion and the end. So let's see one by one. So firstly I want to import the important library which is required to this one like matplotlib, seaborn and like matplotlib. So these are the basic library. Firstly, we have to use them. And like sklearn, warning is also I want to use them. And sklearn, most of the library I want to use them. Import like sklearn. So inside the sklearn, I want to use all the library related to this one. And also I want to use like the tree. I have used that. Now sklearn, I want to use more library like sklearn pre-processing. So the pre-processing sklearn, again in the pre-processing I want to import the label encoder, and also I want to use the standard scalar like import sklearn. So I want to use like training test and the random classifiers. So all the necessary output there. So you can see I have successfully write here some useful library which is a requirement in these projects like artificial neural network. And the one library like sklearn, second one is the Kira useful to the layers, all the packages. Now you can see when the successfully is completed, so it will show the window. Very nice. So you can see that it will successfully created and all the packages are successfully defined here. Now I click the code and like we I want to discuss like once we have loaded the data. Now there is also some other method. If I want to load the data in Google Colab, so I can write here from like google.colab, and I want to import some file, like import and the files. So it depend on us, like file dot upload. So once you want to run this particular command, so it will also give you the time, like you can choose any file and you can upload, but I have uploaded here, this one, click to there and click to there. And also we have the different method if I want to upload the file from the drive. So I want to stop this because I have already basically to run this command. So I want to comment now. Okay. So I want to discuss like firstly. So I want to load the data set. So I want to discuss like the data and the PD and dot read CSV, and I want to supply the weather dot data dot CSV, and after that I want to use data dot head, and I want to run this particular head. Actually it is the head. So now you can see I have successfully loaded the data of the weather. Now my intention that there are the data like date, locations, minimum temperature, maximum, rainfall, explorations, sunshine. So there are so many columns are there. So firstly I want to check out some basic EDA process like data.info. We know very well the data.info useful to check out the basic information about the data, like how many columns are there and how many values are there. So there are so many entries and columns are there, and the values to the each column, and it is countable, and the data type basically. So this is the thing. So you can see I have successfully check out the value. And one more thing, like if I want to load this data, similar this data from like the second method or the other method. So there is also some different method, like if you want to load this data from the drive. So it depend on you, like you can directly to fetch out the data like the from Google dot collab, like, and want to import data from drive, and we can use the drive dot mount. So also this is the function and the strategy, like you can pass the complete path of the drive. So there are the three methods which I have discussed. Like one thing, you can upload the data to directly here, but it is not permanently. Once you close the id it will goes to like lost, and you can upload with the help of this one. Another, you can fetch out the data from the drive. So once I have successfully loaded this data, so you can see the data.info. So firstly I want to basically to check out how many columns are there, so that info are there. So once I click on this one, so I want to check out like the df dot columns. So how many columns are there? Not the df, actually the data. So how many columns are there? I want to check out. You can see there are so many columns names are there. So the my intention is that if I want to basically define the value and the columns. So let's see. So firstly, I want to check out like the how like the rain tomorrow. So the rain tomorrow, this is the column, and I want to show into the seaborne chart like SNS and the count plot and count plot like the data rain tomorrow. So you can see once I want to execute this, so the rain tomorrow into the this manner. So I want to pass the data into the X. So the X axis I want to use that. So you can see the rain tomorrow, yes and no. So no, that is this one, and the yes, the value is this one. The value is less. And what is the value into this one like the rain tomorrow? So the rain tomorrow, you can see yes, no, yes, no. So how many values yes, no, yes, no? So out the data type. Okay. So you can see there are some float type and some object type. So I want to basically include and I want to show only the float data type. So you can see like I want to show the float, only the float column. I want to display them. So the data dot select the DT type. So this is the float column basically, and the D type and include floats dot columns. And you can see once you have run this command, so I want to basically print the float, and you can also give the float column, and you can give the meaningful name like the float. So you can see it will display only the float value. How you can check out? Like you can check out the columns. So it will display only those columns basically related to the float, the numeric basically. So once I have basically applied this one, so I want to store all the value into this one, like float column. So like I want to use data 2 and the float columns. And then I want to apply the data 2 dot head. You can see the data is displays only those basically related to the float. And if you want to check also the data type, like data 2 dot d types, so you can also check. Okay, so no need to check here, you can check there. So this is the data type, this all the floats values are there. And now my intention is that once I have successfully defined and stored the data into this manner, like data 2 dot head. So now I want to discuss like I want to check out the data correlations between the data two, and the data correlation can be performed only the, so the correlation of the data. correlation. So I want to use like the correlation CoRR and on the data to dot correlations. And also I want to visualize this correlation like the CORMP equal to the as Seaborn library and diversing basically palettes. So this is the basically the define like the 22 and minus and the value and the colorful name, and also the subplot figure size is 10 by 10. You can take some more and use the heat map chart like the correlations and the correlation like the core MP and the annotations. So I want to basically visualize this data into the chart, the correlation. So you can see it is the correlation. So the strong correlations are there here, the red shift. So the Riggs millimeter and the minimum time spent. So once I have successfully shown the data correlations into this project, so now I want to work with the data. So if I have worked with the so so we have successfully displayed the correlation with the help of a heat map chart, and the heat map chart is we know very well is the part of this Seaborn library. And I work with the data too because I have defined this data too, the all the plot values, and above the data basically this all the values are there like date are there. So now I want to work with the data. Let's see how we can work with the data. So you can click to there and click to the code, and simply I want to basically convert the date into the date time. So like the data and the date, and we have the function name is to date time exactly, but the date and the year basically I want to calculate, and the month is also if the requirement. So once I have successfully defined, so I want to check out like the month is successfully split or not. So month is successfully split, date is successfully split. So you can see we have successfully split the data, and now I want to check out like the data dot head. You can see so date is there and the year and the month is there. So now once I have defined the month and this one, so my intention is that I want to apply and I want to use some encoded data functions basically. So I want to use the neural network. So I will use neural network. So I prefer to month into the cyclic continuous. So use month into cyclic continuous. So how we can do this? Like take an example. I want to define the tab. Yeah, exactly the same. Like month by 12, but I want to define with the functions like def and code. So I want to define these functions, and I want to define the data and the number of column. So I want to define the three parameter like the maximum. So you can see the maximum value and the sign, it is just the name, and the np, the numpy, and the pi value. So I want to basically uh, to work this data into the continuous manner. Now return this date. Now I want to visualize this data like the data month, and now I want to like the data, not to directly the data.date dt month, like date and like the data dot date and dt month. So you can see the data month wise I have defined here, and the similar to the day, like the day, and I want to define the day basically. The data dot day is 31st. So data, and similar to the data. Now after applying this concept like 12 and 31st, I want to check out this data again, like there is any changes to this one or not. So now you can see the days is this one, and the day in sine and day in cos theta, because these are the requirement, and I want to supply this value to the model. So that is the reason I change into the sine theta and the cos basically with the help of this logic, np dot pi, sine and cos. So and also the month and the day you can check out. So I encode this data. So once I have encode this data, so now I want to visualize this data, like roughly the selections, and like as you can use any data like sections and the data basically, and you can pass to the any rectangular like any rectangle like 180 and 280 and 360. So I want to use a 360, and like the tm, and like the section wise I want to display the data like the day. So I want to pass the day and then the plot. So I want to display the plot, and the color name basically I can choose any like red, and we can give the color code also. So now I want to check so the data is display or not. So it's saying like the day. So the day is actual not the thing, section day. Okay, data. So okay, so I have checked, I have mentioned the day. Okay, so the day name in the capital. So that is the problem. Not the problem, like I can mention into the small as per your requirement. Like if you want to like small manner. So once you can check out like there is the value into the small or in the capital, the column name should be factored, and then you can use this day. If the capital is there, so you have to apply into the capital. So you can see the successfully. Now I can mention and I can use the labels like X label and the Y label, like tm dot set a title, basically set title. I want to use, and the X label, like the distribution of the day over year, distribution of day over year. Now similar the tm dot set y label like years, and the y label basically the same like days, and the x label is year. Now you can see the label is successfully added like years and the day, like day wise distribution of the data. So that is the thing. So once I have successfully visualized this data, so similar I want to visualize this data into the scattered plot, like C month, cyclic month. So C month like the math, or equal like the C bond, and the scattered plot if I want to use, and the scattered plot, and inside the X month and the rain tomorrow. Not the X month. So I have give the name, the month sign, and you can see the month is there, but this is into the data. When I apply this one, so you can see the day sign, day cause. Okay. So remember things one like day sign, day cause. Also the meaningful like once you apply the call and month and day. So now I want to use the similar month sign, and the this column name basically. All the name are day sign and the day sign. So the similarity is because the column name, and the data dot month and the day. So that is the thing. Okay. So the name is there like the date, year, month, and you can change any name. But I have seen, and you can also see the similar name. So not a problem. I want to use the similar name like the day, like the day is there. So now I want to check out like the day sign, day course, and it depend on you. Like if you want to change the name of the particular, so you can change here. But I don't want to change the name and all these things. Okay, so go back to there. So again, to firstly to visualize this, I want to check out the columns like data dot columns. So because I have to scroll the screen one by one, so no need to this one. The data is there. So once I have visualized these things, so I want to pass the data like the day sign. So this is the day, like data there, day sign, and the month and the day cost there. And you can also give the name to the month. You can see, and to supply the data. So once you have successfully run this query, the command, you can see all the data into this shape. So, but the reason is that there is also the day and there is also the day, and there is year and there is day, because I have used the year and the day. So the columns is there. So when I particular encode the data, so I pass the month. So the month is there, and I pass the day. So you can see the year and the month is successfully created there. Month sign, month pause. So you can see the month sign, month pause. Similar, you can see I have the value like day sign is there and the day course is there. Day sign and the day course. So now it depends on us like if I want to add some labels to there like see month set distribution day over the year, but not the distribution like cyclic encoding of the day. Cyclic encoding of day, and like also the X label and the Y label. So Y label is again the cosine encoded day, like cosine encoded day, and into the sine encoded day. So it's just the normal thing. Basically, I have defined into this like cyclic encoding day and all these things. So now my main intention to get the list of the categorical variable. So those are basically object. So in previous example, I have used basically those are the float value. Float value there. Data types is float. So similar, I want to display the those data type basically a object. So how we can do this? So let's see. Once you click to the code and you want to basically the S. So basically we are just performing this first model. What we are doing actually? So we are doing the things like importing library successfully done. Loading data, we are doing this one. Data visualization and cleansing. Then will we process the data pre-processing. Then we'll perform the model building. So now similar I want to display the categorical value. So get categorical values. Now we have the value, and now we can pass the data dot type like object, and the object like the index values is there, and I want to print categorical value. So it will display only the objects value like the locations, and these are the column basically hold the object based value. So if I want to total the value, so the missing value basically I want to calculate all the column. So to check missing values or the null value, so we can run the loop like a in object call. So the object column. So it will automatically show the unique value, and it depend on you the unique, or if you want to total the is null, we know very well is null and the sum. So once you click on this one, so you can see the location wise the missing values is there. There are so many missing values are there. So once I have find out the missing value, similar I want to check out the missing value to the basically the float. And before the missing value, I want to replace with the help of mode basically or the mean. So fill the missing value. Like zero, only the numeric value basically. Once you can successfully fill the value, this one, data. You can see the value successfully this one. Again, you can check out the value. All values are become zero. Why? Because we have filled the mode. And you can fill the normal like the mean or something like that. And similar, I want to get the uh, list of numeric values. Similar, I want to pass the t, so the data type is float. It will automatically understood, and the list float 64, and the index and the variable numbers of column. So once I want to define, so it will display the float value to all. My question is that like I want to count how many null values are there. So missing numeric null values. So the float column, not the float column basically, the name of the column basically which you have used. So now you can see there are so many null values or missing values are there. Similar, I want to basically replace with the help of uh, mode or the mean, but I want to replace with the help of median. So similar, if I want to apply like 4 and fill the value median, fill the missing values like 4 in, and like the name of this one which I have discussed, this one, plot column. So in this one, because the all the data into this one like plot column, and if you have mentioned some different things, so you can mention there. And to replace to the data, so it will getting the problem. So do not pass it and to the original like you can pass here to the median, the year wise rainfall. So you can see the year wise rain flow, that is the thing. And the year wise rain flow you can visualize with the help of like the plt dot figure, the size of the chart basically, and the fixed size is depend on you like the fixed size, the 10 5, and the year wise rain flow like year and the rain flow I want to use that. And also the marker if I want to use uh, like any marker shape if I want to use here like 0 or O. And now it depend on you like you want to use like plt title label, like x label is year, y label is like year wise rain flow, and grid is true, and the plt is show. You can see it will take the little bit time to ready the and to visualize. You can see the year wise rain flow. The 2010 the rain flow is high, and in 2008 the rain flow is low. So that is the functionality basically. So after that, once we have loaded successfully, then we will start something. So the problem is that why the rainfall value is not come. So the problem is that we have used the data like data dot I, something like that. So it is wrong. Do not use this justly to fill value simply. Otherwise, you fill value and you want to correct it. So then you have to start to load the file and again to process all the previous thing one by one. Then you can see this. If you face any replacing problem, this one into this rainfall analysis, you can see. So you can see the above. I have already discussed like the categorical data, which is the flawed data. Now you can see this objects calls, we have the categorical data. So firstly, I want to apply this technique like label encoder. So the label encoder object calls, and I also want to fit like, so basically I want to encode all the categorical data, and now I want to display like the data dot info. That is the thing. So once you have successfully defined, so you can see there is no categorical data basically. So all the data is encoded. How it is basically the display. I want to explain. I want to explain like if I want to talk about the categorical data. So we have the location and the wind. These are the data. Rain tomorrow, yes and no. And after applying this, rain tomorrow become the integer value. Why? So with the help of this label encoder, no need to encode one by one. With the help of label encoder, you can easily encode all the data. And obviously, if you want to show the data, like data dot head, so you can see the data. Data dot head. So you can see I have successfully encoded all the data set into the numeric. The rain tomorrow, yes and no. So now I am ready to uh, perform the process on all the data. Now all the data into the numeric. Now I want to basically scale the data. So what is the scaling feature basically? So like preparing attribute for scale data of use this. So firstly I want to use the feature and data dot drop. So I want to drop some specific column. So those are basically no need. The column name is rain tomorrow. It is no need. As and it is also depend on you like which column basically you want to draw. So the rain tomorrow and the date and the day. So you can see the day is also there. Day D is capital. Remember one thing. Day and month. And to check out like there is any particular year is there, month pause, and the month is there. So year and month. So I want to basically work out with the column. So that is the reason I want to supply the axis. Axis 1 basically used for the column. Once I have successfully dropped this value, so you can see once I have successfully dropped this value, the column. So the column is successfully dropped, and you can also show the data is drop or not. So the data. Head. Now the data is successfully dropped or not. I want to check out. So data is successfully dropped not because I have not mentioned the in place true. But the dropped value, like if you want to show this one features, now you want to run this. So inside the feature, the data basically is dropped. So now the updated values are stored into the feature. So my question is that like once we have used this one, so I want to define one more thing like target and the data, basically the rain tomorrow. But in the original, basically the file we have the rain tomorrow. So this is the target. And after applying this, I want to use the standard scalar. And what is the standard scalar? I want to explain again. If I want to discuss like the standard scalar is versatile and widely used pre-processing technique that contribute to the robust and interpretability and performance of the machine learning model. Why we use this? We use for the standardized feature by removing the mean. So I want to remove the mean basically and scaling the unit. So I want to use the small picture is also this kind of pictures basically. I want to copy it and I want to use it. You can see. So this is the like before the scaling, like there are some different means, but after applying the scaling, so the mean is successfully managed into the single. So it will remove the mean and scaling the unit variance. So similar, if I want to basically to apply and to remove the mean and to apply and to use this, it is basically also the data pre-processing. Like when we have a diverse data set, so I want to scale it. So now I want to use the columns name and the list of the columns name basically. If I want to apply, not to all, I want to list out the column name from this features basically. If I have already used, so features dot column, so dot column. So once I have applied this, now I want to apply like the scalar. So like std scalar and the pre-processing. And after applying the pre-processing, I want to apply this particular standard scalar. And I want to also fit these features to this. Now the features is there, and I also want to once I have fit these features, so now inside the data frame I want to frame these features, number of column data, and according to the columns, like this one. So let's see features dot head dot head. If you want to visualize this data, okay. So the pre-processing spelling mistake is there. Okay, it's saying like the pre-processing is not defined. So I want to check to the above, like where I have used all the library. Like is there is any pre-processing? Yeah, this is the pre-processing basically is there. The standard scalar already there. Pre-processing. Okay, so it's saying like the pre-processing is not defined. So not a problem. I'm going to the starting and want to use and this one, and also I want to use from, and I want to use the pre-processing sklearn and import pre-processing. Then I want to execute this number of libraries again. Once I have executed, so I want to go back to there and want to process this. Okay, the ing is also there. G. So processing. So you can see I have successfully applied this standard scalar basically. It will remove the mean or manage basically to the diverse data set, and also to fit into this data. Now you can see we have the data into this manner like location minimum 10. Now the 222. Now you can see the value is converted and encoded into this. You can see the transform. Once we have successfully transformed this data, so after this one I want to detect the outlier, like after applying this standard scalar, so detect the outlier, and also I want to use the scaled value. I want to display here like plt dot figure size. I want to use the chart here. So this one, you can see the fixed size is 10 by 10, and you can see the 10 by 10 or something more, and blocks, data set, and this one. So if I want to run this, so you can see it will detect the outlier from this data, features data. And now it will take time to detect all the outliers. Basically, you can see. But after applying this thing, it is not so much useful. So I want to use some smart chart like box and plot. So box and plot is also uh, very useful chart for the statistics point of view. Once you have applied this box and chart, you can see there are so many outliers are there. This is the outlier basically, and this is the value. Like all the value dots are there. So these are the outlier. And if you want to extend the size little bit size like the 20, So you can extend also the size of this outlier. So I have successfully detected the outlier. You can see once I have detected the outlier, so the 20, once I apply the 20, the chart will be extend, and you can see the outlier is there. So I want to drop this outlier. How it is possible? So firstly, I want to show the features like full data, and we know very well we have the data, features, and inside the features, not to directly drop basically to the rain, this one. So I want to basically to visualize this data like target. So we know very well we have the target data similar. So I don't want to show basically this target. You want to features dot head, so you can show here this particular targeted data. And after applying this, now I want to drop the outlier. Now, so I want to drop the outlier like to fetch out the value minimum and the maximum. So what is the minimum, the maximum value? Like there are so many values are there. So I can take the minimum, the maximum, like features. So features equal features. And inside the features, basically, I want to use. So you can see I have successfully write this. So I want to detect the outlier. So once I have detected the outlier, so this one. So like this particular column. So the minimum value less than 2.3, and the I want to take out the value, those are basically less than 2.3, and the greater than minus 2.3. So we want to, so I want to also apply this kind of the feature to all the maximum temperature and similar to all of these. So features and similar features I want to apply, and similar to this one basically. I just want to copy it, features. So now the column name is maximum temp, and the similar is maximum temp. But the value is 2 point this one, okay. And now I want to choose the value. So it firstly you can detect all the value and then you can apply. So I have to apply all the minimum and the maximum or the less than to all the column. Then we can detect the outlier easily. And after detecting the outlier, we can easily apply like the rainfall basically. So rainfall, you want to apply this one or no? So this is the feature. I want to apply all this one by one. You can see the similar. I have applied this one, and the similar I want to apply this next column evaporation, and the outlier I want to take this. So the outlier basically evaporations you can take the 2.5 any. Firstly, you have to identify what the values is there. So if you want to find out all these things, so you can see uh, this one and to apply this one. So the features basically features dot describe. So once you apply feature dot describe, so it will find out all the minimum and all the maximum value of each column. Like minimum is 1.4. So it depend on you also, like which minimum you want to use, less than 2.3 and the greater than 2.1. And you can also take more value like this one, 3 point. So it is a maximum. So that is the reason I choose only the 2.3. Why? Because we have the mean. So it is the mean value, and the minimum is this one, and the maximum is this one. So it is your choice, like which value you want to use. You can take the value nearby to this one. So that is the reason I'm just applying here the outlier. Similar, I want to apply the wind gust speed, all these things. So you can see I have successfully defined all the outlier for each column, like from the minimum temp and the maximum 10 max n. So this is the max, so maximum 10. So once you have applied all the outlier for these things, so you can see I have successfully find out this outlier. You can change the value little bit up and down as per your concern, as per your table basically, and to find out like what is the minimum and the maximum basically. And you can also take the minimum as the value 1.66 and the maximum is 1.70, and like minimum is 1.42 and the maximum is 3.39. So you can also take like the minimum temp, like minimum value is like minus 2.3. You can also take, so the minimum value, like the value should be greater than. So, so you can give the value as per your record, 3 point. And you can also choose the maximum value. So the maximum value, this one like 3.39. So it is your concern, like if you want to mention the value as per your requirement, and then you can run it. Once you can run it, so you can set all the outlier value as per your concern, like the less than value and the greater than value. So once you have successfully managed the outlier, so now I want to basically to visualize this data. So I want to show like show outlier. So I want to show the data without outlier. So how it is possible? So firstly, I want to write this one. So PLT figure, the fixed size is 2010 is okay. Auction plot data series, this one okay. And now I want to show it. So it will take little bit time to visualize this data. So after this one, you can see the outlier is mostly managed. And you can see it the location and this data. If you want to basically also use the plt dot xsticks, rotation is 90. So you can little bit use this one. So the ticks into the rotation is 90. So now it is understandable all the things into the perfect manner. So you can see the most of the outlier is managed, and you can see here there are so many outliers in there. These are the outlier basically. And once I apply this like minimum and the maximum concept into this one, and to replace all the value again, And to visualize this chart, you can see I have managed, and if there is any outlier into this one, like the RIX MM, so you can go to the RIX MM, like to there, like where is the RIX MM? This one. So you can take the minimum value like 1.42, like it is the not the it this is the minimum value basically. The 1, 2, 3, 4 position number 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to choose like minus 2.7 into the minimum. So minimum. So that is the reason basically I have not supplied the minimum. So I want to use the minimum. So how we can do this? Let's see one by one. So I just want to copy it, this minimum value 2.7, and it is the minimum value. And now I want to apply. So the minimum value is there. So you can see I have successfully applied the value should be less than 4.34, and value should be this one. Now I want to change the column. So now I want to change the column like this one. So you can see I have successfully maintained the RIX MM, like value should be less than 4.34, because the reason is that in the RIX MM we got some outlier this one. So I apply this one. Now I want to execute again this concept, and I want to again run this chart. Very nice. Very nice. You can see now this chart is more manageable because I have also managed the minimum and the maximum value this one. If there is any outlier, something like that, so you can also use to this one. So this is the concept basically to drop the outlier and to perform the particular column less than and value should be greater than, and to store this one again. So it is a very nice example to find out the outlier and to detect them. So now I want to insert the new code there. So now I want to build the model. So model building. So this is the basically the final concept of these projects. So how we can build the model? So firstly, I will split the train test. So I want to write something this or basically this is the thing I will apply the I will build the model, and after build this model I will apply these things. So I will first split the training test, then apply the neural network, then defining the label, then compiling the label. So let's see firstly the X basically I want to define the features, and I want to drop so those column basically is not required. So how we can drop the rain tomorrow? I want to drop it. Once I have successfully dropped this column, so I want to split. the data is splitting. So X train, we know very well this is a one and most famous like the training test. So the test sample size I want to take the 20% and the random state is 42. And after that I want to use the X shape. So what is the shape of this particular after applying this training and the testing set? So this is the value. So it depends. The value can be vary if the outlier you detect as per your requirement. So now I want to apply like the early stopping. So how we can do this? The early stopping. So in the early stopping, basically, I want to use the callback. So what is the use of this? Basically, the callback early stopping. So in the early stopping, basically the minimum delta. So minimum delta that means amount of the count and improvement. Basically, this is used for the improvement point of view. Early callbacks basically. These callbacks used for the improvement point of view and minimum delta. The minimum delta that is you can take as per your requirement like 001. So I use this particular thing used for the improvement. Now if I have not used, so you can use these callbacks, but don't worry, stop it. So I want to check I have used this callbacks or not. So go back to there. Okay. So the callback is there. So not a problem. Now, once I apply this technique, like the early stage and the patients basically, and the rest restore. So once I have applied this one, so it is just the basically the minimum amount of chance counting improvement, and this is used for the basically how many ECOPs you want to stop before the process. And now I want to apply the NN. So I want to analyzing the model, the sequential, this sequential. So once I apply this sequential model, so now I want to apply the layers. So this layers is very important. Like model dot add. Now I want to add the dense layer basically. So the dense layer inside, I want to supply like the units. So it depend on you 32 and the kernel basically kernel initializer is basically the this is the deep learning activations concept, and I want to apply not the normal the uniform. Then the activation is uh, value and the input dim is depend on you, the training data set, or you can use as per the your concern like the 27. So similar, I want to apply the model dance kernel initializer activation is 30. So the similar thing I want to apply. So the I want to ready the model 32. It is 32 and now it is also 32. Now the 27 last. And now at the second I want to maintain only this one. Now after that I want to maintain the 16. So the 32 pair, that is the thing. Now I want to use the 16 and now the 8 input dim, that is not requirement for the input dim. So the similar I want to use 8. So 32. So in 32 I have applied the two things without the input, and it is all the layer one by one. So this is the 8 basically. And after applying this one, so now I want to drop out the model. So model dot add dropout is it depend on you. You can take 2, you can take 5, and again you can use the activation the above 8. The activation is the same after applying the drop, the 8 kernel initializer activations and the value. Now again I want to drop out this. So you can see it is you can take the 25% of the dropout, and like I want to use 0.25%. And now the similar, if I want to apply the model dot dropout, so this is the machine deep learning layers and dot add. Now the dropout basically I want to use similar 2.5. Once I have applied 2.5, I don't want to add right now this. So once I applied 2.5, the similar, not the 2.5. Now I want to apply the 5, and the similar I want to apply this model like dance unit. Now I want to use the 8, and all the things basically same. Now the activation method is relu. Now I want to use the sigmoid. So once I have applied all the layer, now I want to compile. So if you want to compile, so before the compile, I want to use the Adam. Sorry, the Adam learning model. 0.000. So you can take any frequency of the data. So once you apply this Adam, it is compilation things. So it's saying like the Adam is not increased. So I want to check. So I want to scroll up. Okay, Adam is not defined. So now I want to define. So it is the Keras optimizer. So Keras optimizers import Adam. So it is only the optimization concept. And now I want to go back to the end again. So now this is the Adam learning rate. So once you have applied, so you can see the Adam learning stage is okay, and you can change out the rate and the opt model compile optimizer Adam. So I have directly maintained the optimizer. You can also use this one, and you can also comment this Adam and loss of the binary contrast free and the metric is accuracy. Now after that I want to train in the atheist. The ANN. Now history. Now I want to fit the model, like model fit, X train, Y train, batch size, ECOPS. ECOPS you can take 100 and you can take 150. So 100 I choose the 100, and the callbacks and also the validations state. So APOX and the callbacks, that is callbacks is early stopping. Now I want to apply this validation split. Validation split. So the validation split. So now all the model is successfully defined. First one is early stopping, initializing the layers is there, compiling is there, and the train and the ANN is there. So now I want to build this model. This model is very time consuming. Once I want to click this, so it will take so much time. Okay, so it is showing the uniform problem. So I want to use the normal to all of them. So it depends on you, like you can use the normal, you can use the uniform. So I use normal uniform, but there is a spelling mistake like kernel E. So once I want to change all the kernel, now I want to basically apply all the layer compiling. So once you click, it will take more time to build this model. Now I want to check like what is the thing between the training and the test split data set. So you can see I have little bit change because there is no pair of the 27. So I change here the 28 because the 28, the 32 and the 32 68, that will become the pair. So that is the reason I have applied all the epochs one by one. So it will take the time to complete the 150 epochs. And you can also change out like the 150 to 100, and it depend on you, like the process basically which you want to. It will take time, so until it will be just going to end to 150. Now I'm just display this historical data with the history and the data pandemic. So now I want to use like any history and the pd dot data frame. So once you can see the history data frame, and like the basically if you want to plot this one, like the history df and the loc and the loss and the val loss, basically the label which you want to use. And once you want to apply all these titles, so you can see, but still it will show the data into look like this man. So you can see the loss of this data, this one, and this is the loss, and the training and the training loss and the validation loss, and the accuracy that is a high, and the value accuracy that is this one. So now the last, like the history and the similar to the accuracy validation. Accuracy you can use and all the values. Now at the conclusion, I want to use basically the, it is, I want to give you the recap also all this process, like conclusion. So at the conclusion, I want to conclusion. So I want to predict the result right now. So how we can predict the result? So predicting the result. So you can see the Y predict model. So the data predictions basically I want to use. So you can see the data predictions model is this one, 77. Now I want to create the confusion matrix. So the confusion matrix. So the confusion matrix is like you can create this confusion matrix as per your requirement. This one, confusion matrix. But I want to this confusion matrix to visualize into the heat map chart. So how we can visualize this into the heat map chart? So dot heat map, and this CM I want to visualize. So you can see this is the confusion matrix, like all the values like 31 2 into show this one. Once you have successfully visualized this confusion matrix, now you can print the report. So what is the report? Like the classifications, report, the testing and the prediction. So print input compatible, that is the Y test and this one. So you can see once you have print the classification report, so into this manner, but this classification row report into this one. So I want to use the print and this one. So this is applicable or not. Once I want to apply this classification report, so you can see the precision recall the X factor. Very nice. So at the last, I have complete this projects based on the artificial neural network of the rain predictions. So I hope you will enjoy my class to this one. If you like understood all these things into this video, so kindly like this. So thank you very much.